So I have this big old bag next to me, and basically this is a combination from the Target haul. Well, this is a combination from Target when they had their buy one get one half off, and then the other half is the books I thrifted, which I got from the thrift store. From Google. Each book was like $3, so my total being like $10. I only got 3 books from there because all of that I saw that would be interesting. So these are all the books. This bag is actually very heavy. So yeah, let's just go through them and tell them what they all are. It's definitely a mixture of just dark romance and thriller books. So I'm gonna start with this bag, and this is the bags that on the books that I thrifted from Goodwill. So just 3 in here, so I'm gonna go through these first because I can get to these a lot quicker. 2 of these books are books I've never even heard of, which makes it even better. This one is called Asylum. It's by Madeleine Rowe. Once you get in, there's no getting out. For 16-year-old Dan Crawford, the New Hampshire college prep program is the chance of a lifetime. Except that when Dan arrives, he finds that the usual summer housing has been closed, forcing students to stay in the crumbling Brooklyn dorm, formerly psychiatric hospital. As Dan and his new friends Abby and Jordan start exploring Brookline's twisty halls and hidden basement, they uncover disturbing secrets about what really went on here. Secrets that link Dan and his friends to the asylum's dark past. Because it turns out that Brooklyn was no ordinary psych ward, and there are some secrets that refuse to stay buried. Asylum's mind-bending, real experience blurs the lines between past and present, friendship and obsession, genius and insanity. This one does say have a sequel to it, and it's called Sanctum. So if I do enjoy this book, I'm definitely going to check it out. So those are like has some cool like artworks throughout it like this. It just definitely seems like a pretty good read and a quick short read as well. And then the other book that I got from there was, this is another book that's I feel like popular on TikTok. It's a well-known book that most people have already read. This is called The Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glack. So Charlotte, you don't have to think about your father in the river, your best friend who is forever gone, or your mother who has nothing left to give you. Every new scar hardens Charlie's heart just a little more, yet it still hurts so much. It hurts enough to not care anymore, which is sometimes what has to happen before you find your way back to it. I actually don't know if this book is really good. I just know it's talked about a lot, and I always say this, whenever there's a book that's talked about a lot and it's something that fits like my genre, I'm always like excited to read it. But I also always try not to like read too much like reviews or spoilers about it. I just know if so many people has read it, it might be good or it might be overrated. But either way it goes, I've been wanting to give this a try, and I wanted to get this when the Target had their buy one get one, but I didn't actually take it out of my cart. I'm so glad that I did because I only got this for $3 instead. And then the last book, this one, it caught my attention like a weird way. I saw the cover and I was like, well, that's fun, but like that's kind of like so much. But reading the back, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a good one probably. This one is called Croak by Gina D'Amico. I'm gonna try to make sure it's not reflecting so much, but life's not fair. Why should death be any different? 17-year-old Lex has sucker punched her classmate. Fed up with her punkish rock behavior, her parents ship her off to upstate New York to live with her Uncle Moore for the summer, hoping that a few months of dirty farm work will help whip her back into shape. But Uncle Moore's true occupation is much sturdier than shoveling manure. He's a grim ripper, and he's going to teach her the family business. Lex quickly assimilates into the peculiar world of Croak, a town populated entirely by reapers who deliver souls from his life to the next, along with the free-running yet intriguing partner, Driggs, and the rock-star crew of the fellow grim apprentices. Ash is messing with the bag if you start to hear it. Lex is soon zapping her targets like a natural-born killer. Yet her inability morphs into unchecked desire for justice or vengeance. Whether she's forced to kill a murder victim, yearning to stop the attackers before they can strike again. So when people start to die, that is, people aren't supposed to be dying, people have committed grievous crimes against the innocent, Lex's curiosity is piqued. Her obsession grows as the bodies pile up, and the troubling question begins to swirl through her mind. If she succeeds in tracking down the murder, will she stop the carnage or will she ditch Croak and join in? It just sounds like honestly like a fun book. It doesn't seem very like crazy thriller style, but it definitely still seems like a nice fun read. I'm definitely hoping that this is good. I do plan to read this one pretty soon after I read. I think I have 2 more books that I'm really wanting to read first after I finish the book I'm currently reading. Currently I'm reading Now You're Mine, because I did read the first part, which is Once You're Mine. which love that book. So now I'm reading Now You're Mine. So once I finish this book, and I still want to read The Perfect Summer by Frida McFadden. Honestly, this one might be like one of my top next reads. And now we're going to get into the Target haul. So this one definitely has probably the most books. I think I got about 10 books, because I feel like for this, because buy one get one, you have to get an even number, because at that point, like, are you really getting a deal if you're not getting an even number to make sure you get the other one half off? But these are mainly books that I've been wanting to get for a while that I feel like are already more popular, more talked about. So the first book that I have is called You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Genevieve Rose. This one is already talked about so much, but I still been wanting to read it, so I'm excited to actually read this one. This says, Grace Evans, an overworked New Yorker looking for a total escape from her busy life, books an Airbnb on the range in the middle of Wyoming. When she arrives at the idyllic... I cannot read. At the idyllic getaway, she's pleased to find that the owner is a handsome man by the name of Calvin, and he's eager to introduce her to his easygoing way of life. But there are things Grace discovers that she's not too pleased about: a lack of cell phone service, a missing woman, and a feeling that something isn't right with the ranch. Despite her uneasiness, the two bond and start to fall for one another. However, as her departure date nears, things change for the worse. What began as a playful romance soon turns into a complicated web of lies. Grace grows wary of Calvin as his infatuation for her seems to have morphed into obsession. Calvin fears that Grace is hiding something from her, including her reason for staying at his ranch to begin with. Vacation flings typically end in heartbreak, but for Grace and Calvin, it would be far more destructive. I don't think I've even heard of someone reading this book and being like, I don't like it. I feel like almost every time people are talking about like thriller books to read or anything like suspenseful books to read, this one's always one of the books on the list, which is why I definitely had to give this a go. Okay. The thing about TikTok is, I know most of these books already get talked about, so people want different books. But the problem is, I'm still new to book talk, so some of the books I'm seeing and learning about, especially because I just started reading like last year, are books that I didn't even know about. So like, if some of these books I repeated, I am sorry, but if you read it, definitely let me know if it's even good, if I should like read it or not. I have a lot of other book talk books. This one's no different. This book is Credence. This book is Credence by Penelope Douglas. Tiernan doesn't care about anything anymore. The only child of a film producer and his movie star wife. She's grown up with wealth and privilege, but never love or guidance. And when her parents suddenly pass away, she knows that she should be devastated. But she's always been alone, hasn't she? Jake, her father's stepbrother, assumes guardianship of Tiernan after moving to the mountains of Colorado to live with Jake and his two sons, Noah and Caleb. Tiernan quickly learns that these two men have to say what she chooses to care and what not care about anymore. As the three men take Tiernan under the wing, she slowly finds her place among them. The lines blur and rules become easy to break when no one else is watching. They each want each other, but only one of them is going to keep her. I've never read a romance book where it's, if you know, like the whole plot has like two guys, one girl type of thing. I've never read a book like that. But I heard that this book's so good, so I'm interested in reading it. Do I think I'd be like too fond of the idea? I'm not quite sure, but I'm always open to trying new things for books, to be honest. So I heard about this book a lot. I like romance books, so hey, I feel like I gotta give this book a go. You look so cute, my love. So this book that we have now is called Give Me a Reason. This is by A.L. Jackson. I never get a book for the spray edges, but I feel like this one's actually kind of cute, but very simple. Eating is only a club absolution to make extra cash. A kindergarten teacher who is nothing but sunshine, doesn't belong in a place like this, should get ripped to shreds, and all bets are on the brooding biker to be the one to do it. Trent is the last man she should want. Jaded, dangerous, civically gorgeous, he makes her knees weak. He's also an arrogant jerk and her new boss. When Eden discovers his adorable son is one of her students, she knows she'll have to keep her distance. But Eden and Trent are helpless to fight the attraction that ignites. One glance and their heart races. One touch and they're aching for what can never be. Trent should have known that dragging her into this sordid world would put her in danger. Now she'll pay the price for his past. Yeah, I literally tried to memorize the last line without even realizing it, so But no, this book seems so fun. I feel like looking at stuff I have, I'm starting to wonder if I have more romance style books. Maybe because I already have a whole bunch more thriller books, so I'm just kind of evening it out. I don't know. I like to read like romance thriller, like go back and forth. It gives me a break from each one. So that's literally how I read my books. But I'm actually really excited to read this book. I feel like I got a lot of good books there in their sale. I tried to get a lot of books that I've been wanting for a while, or I've heard about, or like this one, like one I haven't even heard of before. But I wanted to try to get books that like cost a little bit more, so I can get like more money for my book. Because I know most of these books from Target usually have like a 20% off. So I tried to get books that I feel like already costed quite a bit, so I can like actually get my money's worth for this. And this book is called The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This book is also another one that is very much so talked about. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Most of these arcs, like I said, like I'm just not finding out about more than like half these books. This is long. I'm gonna try and shorten it because I don't know if you want to sit here and listen to me read for like 30 minutes, but is what will happen. At 17, Lenora hung her sisters with a rope. Now reduced to a schoolyard chant, the whole family murder shocked the Maine coast one bloody night in 1929. Most people assume the 17-year-old Lenora was responsible. The police were never able to prove it. Other than her denial after the killing, she had never spoken publicly about that night, nor had she set foot outside of Hope's Inn, the cliffside mansion where the massacre occurred. It's now in 1983, and Home Health Aide Kit McDear arrives at decaying Hope's Inn to care for Lenore after a previous nurse fled in the middle of the night. In her 70s and confined to a wheelchair, Lenore was rendered mute by a series of strokes and can only communicate with the kid by tapping out sentences or an old typewriter. One day, she makes the offer, "I want to tell you everything." "It wasn't me," Lenore said. Also, Kid helps Lenora write about the events leading to the Host family massacre. It becomes clear there's more to the tale than people know. But new details about her breed, and that the seemingly harmless woman in her care could be far more dangerous than she first thought. Why am I sorry? I'm having so many tongue ties. I think it's because I'm reading so long now. But I'm so excited for this book. This book kind of reminds me of like this almost like similar vibes of The Silent Patient, where the woman kills her husband and she doesn't say a word. She doesn't say anything about why she did it or anything like that. But she's like in a ward, and what's his name? I don't know, like the male lead like goes to work there and to figure out the story and figure out what happened. And that's what this kind of gives me the vibes of. So I'm very interested to read this book. Absolutely love The Silent Patient. Definitely a 5 out of 5 star read. I have this big chunky book. I didn't know this book was this long when I got this. When I opened up the bag, I was like, what the heck? Because I did curbside order for this to catch the sale and to make sure all the books that I wanted were there. And so I could see my price before I even finished because, hello. And I did not know this book was so chunky. When I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness. But this one's another popular book. I think this book, I mean, I could be wrong, but does this book have like another book to it? Or am I like thinking of something else? Because I could be. But this one's called When the Moon Hatched, and it's by Sarah Parker. This book is, okay, it's the dictionary, okay? But I know, I heard that this book is good, so I want to read it. It'll definitely take me longer because I don't even have time anymore to be reading. Fast-paced fantasy romance featuring an immersive, vibrant world of mysterious creatures, a unique magic system, and a love that blazes through the ages. As an assassin for the rebellion group, Fear Ray's job is to complete orders and never get caught. When rival bounty hunter turns her world upside down, blood spills, heartbreak, and Ray finds herself imprisoned by the Guild of Nobles, a group of powerful faith who turn her into a political statement. Crushed by the loss of her great love, King Vigor takes the head of the king and donned his meltdown crown. Now on a tireless quest to quell the never-ending ache in his chest, a clue lures him into the capital's high-security system. high security prison where he stumbles upon an prison rave. Echoes of the past race between them. There's more to the story than meets the eye, but some truths are too poisonous to swallow. I feel like there's another book to this, but I can't remember if I've heard of people talking about like the other book with this. But so I'm hoping if that's the case that I'm not reading one that I should not read first, because if so, definitely let me know, please, or if I'm like good to go like reading this. Because I've definitely done that before where I got a book that I felt like would be good, and then turned out when I started reading it, I was like, wait a minute, this is not the first book. I'm definitely missing something. So definitely please let me know. It's still gonna be a while before I start this book because I do have other books ahead of this one. So please let me know if this book is one that I do not need to read first. This is another popular book, and this one's called oh my gosh, this one is called Bonding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I almost said her name as what the story is called. And I'm actually really excited to read this book. I heard a little bit about it, just like I've heard other people talk about this book, but I haven't heard it honestly quite that much. So I'm hoping that this one is still like really good. But I haven't heard many people mention this book. But it says Johnny has everything going for him. On the rugby pitch, he's a force to be reckoned with, even plagued with a hidden injury. Everyone knows he's heading straight to the top, but that means there's no room for mistakes or distractions. Not even the shy new girl at Tomlin College, the one with the sad eyes and concealed bruises. He needs to stay focused, keep his cool, not let anything get in the bigger way. Oh my gosh. Let anything get in the way of the bigger picture. Except before he knows it, this lonely girl has become his only picture. Life has never been so easy for Shannon Lynch. Bullied and tortured, she arrived at Tomlin College midway through the school year, praying for a fresh start and desperate to shake off her demons that plague her. But when she meets the notorious Johnny on her first day, her plans to keep a low profile are serious risk as they fall into a complicated friendship and grapple with their undeniable chemistry, and in pain and complicated secrets threatening to be their undoing. But Johnny won't give up on Shannon, no matter what it might cost them both. Okay. Oop. Oop. Sorry, almost fell. Hey, don't bite my hair. I mean, I almost fell trying to balance and stuff. And he keeps trying to bite my braids. One of those books that I'm actually very excited to read as well. I feel like I got a lot of romance style books. I didn't even notice. But I haven't heard that much about this one. It's called The Caravel by, what's it say? Stephanie Garber. Is that what it says? Stephanie? Yeah, Stephanie. The sticker is covering the name. This is also another book that I'm wondering if there's another book to this one. So this one and When the Moon Hatched, please let me know if you read it. If there is supposed to be another book that I'm supposed to be reading either before or after these, because I feel like some of these are like little series. All I had to do was flip the page and it literally tells me that it continues. So there's supposed to be one before this. I hope not. But it says continues in legendary. Scarlett has never left the tiny island where she and her sister Taylor live with their powerful and cruel father. Now Scarlett's father has arranged a marriage for her, and Scarlett thinks her dreams of seeing Caravel, I just want to say Caravel because it's giving me like caramel vibes. Caravel, the fairway once a year performance where the audience participates in the show are over. But this year, Scarlett's long dream of invitation finally arrives. With the help of a mysterious sailor, Taylor whisks Scarlett away to the show. Only as soon as they arrive, Taylor is kidnapped by Caravel's mastermind organizer legend. It turns out that this season's Caravel revolves around Taylor and whoever finds her first is the winner. Scarlett has been told that everything that happens during Caravel is only a elaborate performance, but she nevertheless becomes enmeshed in a game of love, heartbreak, and magic with the other players in the game. And whether Caravel is real or not, she must find Taylor before the 5 nights of the game are over. A dangerous domino effect of consequences is set off, and her sister disappears forever. This book sounds so good. I actually forgot how excited I was to read this book. So forget about reading The Perfect Son next. I truly might read this one after I finish Now You're Mine, because I am halfway done with that book. So honestly, my goal is to finish it Friday, which is tomorrow, because today's Thursday and I'm recording this. So basically the day that you're probably watching is the day I plan to finish it and start this book. So I'm definitely hoping I'm not missing something, because I'm gonna look it up since I'm gonna start this tomorrow probably, or Saturday. But I'm gonna look up to make sure I'm not supposed to be reading something else. But this book looks so good, you guys. And I am scared that I'm gonna read it and it's not gonna like live up to what I'm hoping for. But hey, I gotta give it a go. This book. And then the cover of it is so pretty, and I like the way it feels. Like I can feel like the letters of it. I don't know. I just really think I'm gonna love this book. Oh my gosh, it literally got bent up from being in the bag. I had this bag sitting. Okay, I had this bag sitting for the Target one for like whenever they had that buy one get one. So probably about a week or two. I had this bag just sitting there, just waiting so I could film this first. And now my book is literally like bent because I did not think it was bent at first. But this book is by Lisa Jewell. This is called None of This Is True. This one is also another talked about book quite a bit. I feel like I've seen this one probably about the equivalency of seeing the Binding 13 book, but I'm excited to read this one. Celebrating her 45th birthday at the hot new local pub, popular podcaster Alex crosses paths with the unassuming woman called Josie. Josie, it turns out, is also celebrating her 45th birthday. They are, in fact, birthday twins. A few days later, Alex and Josie bump into each other again. This time outside Alex's children's school. Josie has been listening to Alex's podcast and thinks she might be an interesting subject for her series. She tells Alex on the cusp of great changes in her life. Josie's life appears to be strange and complicated, and although Alex finds her unsettling, she can't quite resist the temptation to keep going on the project. Slowly, she starts to realize that Josie is hiding some very dark secrets, and before she knows it, Josie has unveiled her way into Alex's life and her home. But as quickly as she arrives, Josie Fair disappears. Only then does Alex discover that Josie has left a terrible and terrifying legacy in her wake, and that Alex has become the subject of her own true crime podcast, with her life and her family's lives in grave danger. It sounds so twisty. Look, the fact of the way they put this sticker on is gonna drive me insane. I always take these off anyways because I don't like them there. But the fact that they did it like right here, hanging off the page, is like. But this book seems really good. I'm very excited to read it. It seems like a book that has a lot of like twists and turns. I'm hoping ones that's like you're not gonna see coming, because I love a good book where you don't know what's gonna happen. And I'm also hoping that this time I got books that I will actually finish. I've only had one book so far that I've ever read that was so bad I just could not finish it for like the life of me. And I like skimmed through the book, so I don't really count it as me reading it because I read like the first half, then I skimmed the middle because nothing was happening, and then the end was just terrible. And I think that book was called like The Woods Are Watching. So if you ever thought about reading that book, do not. I'm just gonna save yourself time. But anyways, back to this book. I'm very excited to read this book. I got a lot of books that are like based off around someone being very eerie, having very dark, twisted secrets that they have coming to light, things like that. So this is just another one that's perfect for me. And the last book that we're going to be talking about is another popular book, and this one is called Local Woman Missing. This is by Mary Kubica. That's how pictures probably said. This one's very popular, very much talked about. Definitely had to try it out because it fits everything that I look for in the book as well. So I figure, hey, it's on this sale, I'm gonna go ahead and get it, because why would I pay like 20 or so bucks for one of these books and I get it for like 10 bucks? Shelby is the first to go missing, but then Meredith and her 6-year-old daughter Delia vanished just blocks away from where Shelby was last seen, striking fear into the once peaceful community. After an elusive search that yields more questions than answers, the case eventually goes cold. Now, 11 years later, Delilah shockingly returns. Everyone wants to know what happened to her, but no one's prepared for what they'll find. And some people will stop at nothing to keep the truth buried. Usually for books like this, I don't really like books, or even movies sometimes, where a big incident occurs and then they like jump like years later and they're older and it's like coming back out, because I was wondering, why is it coming back out now like 20 years later? And like, I don't know, I feel like it loses some of like the gripping part of the story when it's like so many more years later and someone's trying to like uncover the truth. But yeah, I think one of the things that I watched on Apple TV was Found in Jacob, I think, and they did the jump scene to when he was older. Now that one's a good show. If you never watched that show on Apple TV, I highly recommend it. It's actually so good. It's definitely something you can binge. I think they had made like a second season or something, I think, of that show, and I didn't like it. But anyways, so usually I don't read books like that where they have like the big time jump and like things are coming out and like, you know, they're trying to protect the truth. But this book is really talked about, so I really want to give this one a go. And yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like a 5 out of 5 star book unless something like absolutely crazy happens. But I do think it probably like a 4-star reading. I'm excited to get this book a go. So those are all the books that I got for this. So like I said, the first 3 were from the Goodwill thrift store. So, and then the last ones were from the Target's buy one get one half off sale that they had going on a few weeks ago. But thank you guys so much for watching. If any of these books that I got like excites you or you think you want to read or you have read, do let me know down in the comment section below what your thoughts are. I'm definitely probably gonna read Give Me a Reason. Give Me a Reason, Caravel, and Binding 13. Honestly, probably like one of the top ones from like this haul specifically. Definitely probably Caravel. I feel like I'm just saying that name all types of wrong and it's kind of funny. But if any of these books excite you or you think would be good, definitely let me know in the comment section below which one your favorite was. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.